This is the end of chapter 3. Sometime later, I found myself at the place where all losers, degenerates, and scumbags go in a vain attempt to extinguish those repressed emotions caused from the shit show their lives consist of. At the current moment, I'm on cloud 9 in a haze of opiates and whiskey, watching this beautiful goddess on the stage in front of me dancing to the tune of Tupelo Honey by Van Morrison. As I continue to watch her dance, I can't help but think of how deliciously sweet her love must taste. I can bet it's as sweet as honey straight from the bee. As she continues her routine, it begins to happen. All of the blood from my brain begins to leave and migrate down towards the lower regions of my body, causing parts of me to become erect. I now notice her looking in my direction. It must be the testosterone-infused hormones that she can smell. Looks like I've fallen right into her trap. Her erotic magic is beginning to take its course. By this point, I know I'm doomed with no hope of escape. Even if an ordained priest were to walk into this establishment and start performing an exorcism over me, I don't think it would be strong enough to combat this harlot's sexual powers. She just continues smiling, knowing she has me right where she wants me. I just sit there like an oblivious animal, unknowingly being led to the slaughter. The song abruptly ends as she casually walks off the stage in her miniskirt and high heels and approaches me. "Hey, handsome, how are you doing tonight?" She sits down next to me and continues to stare into my eyes. From experience, I know this is how the actual spell is going to begin. Do I know you from somewhere? I doubt it, unless you've ever been indicted by the federal government. That's it, you're the dick swinger. I knew I recognized you. Excuse me? She pulls out her cell phone and begins to play a YouTube video. It's the very same one that was recorded at the casino and aired on the local news stations. "You're practically famous. This video has around 1 million views. Are you really an FBI agent?" "I am." "Oh, that's so cool. You remind me of that guy in that movie, Bad Lieutenant." She pulls out a vial and pours some white powder on her hand the same way people do with salt to chase tequila, then snorts it. "You want one?" "Sure. Give me your hand." She pours some of the white powder on my hand and I sniff it. Once I catch a drain, this intense tingling spirit immerses its presence throughout my body, and this little vixen continues to exercise her magical powers of seduction by sitting on my lap, grinding her body against mine and gently brushing her hair against my face. Then she whispers in my ear, "My shift's over, cowboy. Want to give me a ride home?" In the cocaine-induced euphoric haze, I reply, "I want to crawl inside of your pussy and just curl up into a little ball like a baby in the womb." She laughs. "You're funny. I have to go and get my things, so if you want, I'll meet you outside in a couple of minutes." She glides off of my lap and walks to a door in the back of the building with her backside swaying back and forth as each step of her high heels touches the ground. I order 3 more shots of whiskey and down them before I leave. Moments later, we meet at my unmarked and leave her establishment. She directs me to her apartment, which we reach momentarily, and once outside, she sniffs another bump and gives me one. "So are you going to read me your rights before you begin your interrogation of my body?" I just laugh. She hops over the center console and begins to unbutton my pants. Then she inserts me into her and we commence to exchange each other's fluids, filled with God knows how many microorganisms. Sex, it really is just a dirty event, biologically speaking. The magic ceremony commences, and once again I've risked the health of my body in the name of pleasure. But so what? Medical technology has become quite advanced since the days of Nietzsche, so I don't have to worry about one day falling out in the streets and dying from my body being corroded and my brain decayed from the adverse effects of diseases like syphilis. And up until this point in life, I've never been infected with an STD, so what the hell? My odds have been good thus far, so I figure I'm safe to take another roll of the dice. I can't help it that I do these type of things. You see, I have a philosophy about it. Our lives were fucked before they even started. That is, in cases like me and the woman I'm currently fornicating with. For some reason, whether it be our genetics, like the way God programmed us, or our experiences in life that was ever so destined to be or both, people like us can't help but inevitably fall headfirst right into that state of self-destruction. Even if we wanted to do the right things in life, we don't have the ability or capacity to. It's like our minds are just warped and there's no coming back. Almost as if we're trapped in a vortex of bad decision making. In ancient times, they would have called it a curse and brought us to the end of the village and stoned or exiled us, but since we live in a different time, we're just forced to live with the depravity that has taken our minds hostage. So in all of my rational logic, The only conclusion I've reached to combat this mental defect that was allocated to me before I could even realize its extent when I descended from the womb is to sit back, buckle up, and enjoy the ride. This is our lot in life, so there's no point in trying to deny it. Just accept it and move forward. I've come to find it's better this way. As she continues to ride my most cherished member, I feel a burst of fluids within the woman's sacred flower, and shortly after I do the same, as we're both covered in sweat. She now hops off of my lap, back onto the passenger seat, and begins to fix herself. That was fun. She continues fixing her hair and makeup as she looks into a portable mirror she pulled out of her purse. Before you leave, what's your name? Oh my God, I didn't tell you my name? I'm such a whore. It's Nikki. What's yours? Charles. Well, thank you, Charles, for being such a gentleman and taking me home. Maybe we'll meet again in the future. With that, she puts away her mirror and exits the car. Once she enters her apartment, I drive away satisfied for the time being, having quenched for a little while at least that other pesky spirit that enjoys visiting acutely.